Did you know that feeling anxious in social settings might actually link back to past trauma, especially if you had a run-in with a bully, and not just any bully, but someone with narcissistic tendencies? You see, this kind of bully plays some serious mind games, making it all that more tricky to shake it off. Well, today I'm going to share with you 3 signs that can help you recognize if your social anxiety is a result of narcissistic bullying. I'm Michael Haggstrom, doctor in counseling and founder of smartempath.com, and I've spent over 3 decades in counseling diving deep into relationships, anxiety, and trauma. It's my mission to help people bounce back from toxic relationships, and especially the narcissistic kinds. And if you want, there's a free guide waiting for you on social anxiety and narcissistic bullying. You can grab it at smartempath.com/bully. That's smartempath.com/bully, BULLY. And so let's dive into the first sign that narcissistic bullying use their power to make you feel small. Like they were getting a supply from targeting you, a supply of feeling superior or better than you. School should be a safe place, but narcissists are lurking around, and it's often quite the opposite of safety, making it a nightmare for many kids, especially if the kids aren't naturally extroverted, able to stand up for themselves easily, right? Or if they don't fit in. See, narcissistic bullies are hungry for power over others. It feeds them, makes them feel special, and when they set their sights on you with their laser focus, they will target you with no care of how harmful they are. In fact, the more you hurt, the more they feel good. And the trauma experienced from a narcissistic bully is so hard to heal from because it's very different from the average bully. You see, the average bully might want to pick on you because at any given moment, you just happen to be in front of them. And the average bully they'll make you feel afraid, make you feel powerless, and it can be random because the average bully has just this poor impulse control and needs to let out their rage at whatever crosses their path in that moment. And this kind of bullying is bad enough, but the narcissistic bully takes it to a whole new level. They will use their status of being popular, smarter, better dressed, physically stronger, or more skilled at something like sports to make you feel inferior. And this is universal. This isn't just a Western thing. I've counseled clients from many cultures, whether it be that they were raised in India, China, Central Africa, Middle East, Russia, or in South America. And the bullying stories, they're all the same. For example, I'll give you an example of people born into higher status bullying those born into a status deemed by them to be inferior. This is the thing. No one should be made to feel small and afraid for any reason, and especially not for the reasons beyond their own control, like the color of their skin, the family they were born into, their sexual orientation, or because of a physical challenge like being in a wheelchair or having other special, maybe learning needs, right? We should be championing every child in who they are. And when we don't, when we allow bullying to happen by ignoring it, by saying, well, boys will be boys, girls will be girls, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, just turn the other cheek and just let it go. No. I say no to this. We are giving bullies more power when we do this. I remember being a new kid in elementary school. We moved to a new community. It was up north in the town of The Paw, Manitoba, here in Canada. And within the first week or so, the teacher left the classroom to go get something. And several of the bigger kids in the class, they got up and went over to 3 of my classmates. And these classmates, they were Indigenous from what we in Canada refer to as First Nations. And these 3 bullies began assaulting them with their words, telling them to go back to their reserve. And before it got physical, I just jumped out of my seat. It wasn't planned. It just happened. And I found myself in the middle of the 2 groups, between the bullies who are standing up and the bullied who are still seated in their classroom chairs. and I assumed others were going to join in. Now, I was not a big kid, and I was new to the school, so this definitely was not the cool thing to do if you want to make friends, but I just couldn't help it. And I told those bullies to go sit down. Now, they seemed shocked. They began poking fun at me, but I didn't back down. Go on, I told them. Go back to your seats. And I think we all then heard the teacher coming back to the class because, everyone sat back down. And what shocked me was this, that no one else in the class joined me in taking on these bullies. And sadly, within a short time, those 3 kids who were of Indigenous origin, they left one by one, they left the school. Now, I don't know what happened to them. What I know is that they deserved a safe place to learn and grow, and that was not given to them. And you can see the toxic power of dynamic that was on full display, where these bullies, all white, saw themselves as superior to the 3 First Nations children. They felt entitled over them and had no empathy. This is narcissism. Now, this leads me to the second sign. The narcissistic bully is going to target you and then keep targeting you often over, it could be even over a long duration, and they're going to make it personal. It might not be physical, but for sure it will be psychological. That is, the narcissistic bully will engage in psychological torment where they may even pretend to be a friend one day and then ignore you the next. Play the hot and cold game. They do this to keep you destabilized, and this creates distrust in others for yourself, right? But especially even distrust in you, because what the narcissistic bully does is make you believe that you are the problem. There will always be something about you that they're going to pick on, where the average bully just picks on you because you just happen to be in their line of sight that day. But the narcissistic bully has an agenda to constantly keep the bullying alive, and to even increase it over time with more insidious ways of torment, inventing stories that aren't true, spreading them on social media. And of course, the narcissist will need to do one more thing to make their torment of you complete. And this is the third thing that I want to tell you about. They're going to drag others into the abuse, where you're going to experience public shaming. And this is perhaps the main reason that you will end up suffering from social anxiety. It is this public shaming that is at the root of a lot of our social anxiety in the world. This shame sticks to you. It likes to get right into your bones, and you just don't know how to shake it off, right? And this shaming isn't always from another kid at school. Teachers can perpetuate this kind of narcissistic abuse in the system by making, let's say, for example, a student feel stupid in the classroom, even letting the other kids laugh. This is abuse, and it can have serious consequences when you've been the target. How could you then feel confident around others? How could you trust others in social settings, even later on as an adult? Well, of course, you developed social anxiety. Of course, you became doubtful of your value around others. And this is not your fault. And this most likely caused you to experience acute distress that may very well have become trauma. And if you don't work through the trauma, you most likely won't get the results you're looking for, no matter how hard you try. You see, when I work with clients suffering from social anxiety, clients who want to be confident in talking to people, be able to speak up in a group setting, they often talk about feeling frozen in the social settings, losing their train of thought. And all of these symptoms can be the result of a freeze response. I'm sure you've heard of fight, flight, freeze responses in trauma. Well, narcissistic bullying will often cause you to go to freeze, where you clam up, where you want to be invisible. You walk with your head down, shoulders hunched slightly forward. You attempt to walk through the hallways quietly, hoping to not get noticed. This is what an animal will do in the wild when they know that a predator is nearby. And narcissistic bullies are predators. Predatory in how they target you. See, you deserve to walk with your head held high and to develop relationships with the right people who champion you. It can be so important to find your tribe and to shield yourself from the negativity coming from the wrong people. To know how to put up walls around what these wrong people think, walls to their words, their lies, and manipulation. And learn how to let the good from the right people who have your back, just let it in, who see your worth. But whatever you do, don't stay the victim to this kind of abuse. If this is going on in your life right now, reach out to an adult, a teacher, a school, a counselor, and especially to your parent or guardian. You can also call there has to be a crisis helpline, I imagine, in the area where you live. You see, it's important to see what can be done to make it stop. And believe it or not, this may even be a matter for the police to intervene. You need to know that harassment is not only wrong, it can be a crime, and you deserve protection. And I hope that if any of what I've shared with you today resonates, that something inside of you will rise up to champion yourself and to champion the vulnerable around you who really need it. And so we're going to be closing here shortly, but you know what? Don't forget to check out the free guide at smartempath.com/bully. It's packed with easy-to-follow resources to help you recognize, protect, and understand how to truly heal the anxiety and trauma you may be feeling as the result of narcissistic abuse. Well, I'm Michael Haggstrom, wishing you love and peace. Stay strong and take care.